Hands work hard, but the mind works hardest of all because ideas are precious. Ideas can change everything. At Community Futures Development CK, we know that your ideas and your vision are just the beginning. Community Futures Development CK. We grow vision into success.
During high school, I had a part-time job at a little shop in Tilbury where I would, sweep floors, put stock away, and got my first lesson on a Heidelberg letterpress. And it just took off from there. I did go away to school, couldn't cut it, dropped out, came back, knocked on the door of the little print shop I was working at, and they took me back, put me on an apprenticeship program, and 35 years later, here I am. This is the Heidelberg windmill letterpress, built in 1959, and I'll turn it on here and I'll give you a quick demo. So it's like a monster. It's gonna start spinning and huffing and puffing. Now what we're doing with this particular job, we're just putting a perforation across. So everything's set up. The perf rule is locked into the die, the perf rule here. So we're gonna put that back in. And there's a die cutting plate or a perfing plate that's locked onto what we call the tympan. And we engage it. The timing on this machine is amazing considering it's, quick math, 70 plus years old. The timing is still so accurate. They call it a windmill because the gripper arms are spinning like a windmill. So when we engage suction, it picks up. And just like that. I worked 6 years for Perry Graphics, left there and went to another local print shop here in Chatham, worked there for a couple of years and then had the opportunity to purchase half that business. So I did, and I stayed there for over 20 years. But just had a different idea of where print was going. I wanted to do things a little bit differently. With partners, you can never do it your way, and I wanted to do that. So I started thinking and thought, at the time I was late 40s, I said, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it now. So I took the step and started Planet Print. A real good friend of mine, we partnered on a large 48-inch plotter and a flatbed printer that prints directly on coroplast. We don't have it here, but it's off-site at another location, and we're doing more and more work on that all the time. When I first started, again in Tilbury, a lot of the type for the letterpress was cast in lead using an old linotype machine where you'd type and the keys would fall from what we called a magazine, and then the hot lead would be poured into the mold and create your lines of text. So I've gone from linotype, lead type to, the CS Creative Suites and InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop, all the design is done on a computer now. It was scary, actually. I mean, like any business, when you have to keep up with the times and grow and stay relevant, it was scary. And when digital first came out, the digital presses were not cheap. They were very expensive. This is the digital press. So we have a customer looking for an art printout that just came in. So I'm just changing it to 12 by 18 paper. Well, we're small. We have a part-time pressman that comes in and runs to the offset press. He's in a couple times a week. My partner, Christy Obelek, she's put in a little art studio up front because we were doing more and more wide format printing. It just frees me up too. It allows me to go out on the road and make some sales calls, do deliveries. We have a part-time designer who is still working from home because of COVID, and part-time front office worker, but other than that, I do everything else. As a young kid, I mean, I had the lemonade stands, and I remember when I was, I don't know, probably 10 or 11 years old, we had a little worm farm business. We'd pick worms and sell them to local bait shops, and from there I had a DJ business when I was in high school, so I think I've always had that entrepreneurship in my blood, and it's just carried on, and here we are today.